From August 20th to 26, 2023, the planet was once again hit by unpredictable events caused by climate change. In the meteorological history of these 7 days, many temperature records of unbearable heat were recorded. But this is just the beginning. The forces of nature made crushing blows one after another, bringing new disasters each day. On August 20th, Tropical Storm Hilary, with the strength of a Category 4 hurricane, struck the west coast of Mexico, the California Peninsula, and the Southwestern United States. It brought record rainfall, severe flooding, mudslides and landslides. Hilary became the first tropical storm to hit Southern California in the last 84 years. Because of the rampant disaster, most roads in the state became impassable, and thousands of flights were cancelled. Entire neighborhoods ended up buried under tons of mud and debris. People trapped in the dangerous trap had to be evacuated using bulldozers. On August 21st, a series of natural disasters struck the countries of South America. A forest fire broke out in the municipality of San Luis, Argentina, and the Ubinas volcano woke up in Peru. In Chile, 2 people lost their lives as a result of flooding in the south-central region. The next day, cataclysms struck various regions of the planet with renewed force. On August 22nd, a massive wildfire broke out in northwestern Turkey's Çanakkale province. Driven by the wind, the fire spread over vast areas. Special equipment and aviation were involved in extinguishing the fire. The fire caused mass evacuations from nearby villages and led to the suspension of shipping through the Dardanelles Strait. After this event, a lot of people will have to start their lives over from scratch.
Everything vanished, all gone. Unfortunately, there's nothing left. I used to make souvenirs here. I had a workshop here. I used to sell wholesale. Well, as you can see, it's all burnt down now, turned to ashes. We couldn't save anything, not even the concrete house. The fires started so fast that we didn't even realize what was happening.
There is nothing to say. It's incredibly tough. God forbid anyone ever go through that.
We've been through hell, very tough, very much so. Anyone who's been through it will understand. My 20, 30 years of labor are gone, very disheartening.
On the same day, residents of the western part of Saudi Arabia were affected by the storm. The storm's main impact hit the cities of Mecca and Jeddah. The hurricane winds and rain literally knocked people off their feet, easily demolishing billboards and metal structures. The residents of India continue to suffer from heavy rains. On the same day in the town of Kotdwara, a car was swept away by a rushing water stream. Roads were closed due to flooding and landslides. On August 22nd, a storm with hail struck the northern Buenos Aires province in Argentina. The city of Pergamino was hit the hardest. Some hailstones reached the size of tennis balls. The disaster damaged houses and cars. In another part of the world, a storm with hail struck the town of Kęty in Poland. Trees were fallen in some places. On the same day, Tropical Storm Harold struck the southeast Texas coast, causing heavy rains and local flash floods. After landfall, wind intensity began to decrease and the storm transformed into a tropical depression. However, the torrential rains persisted. More than 23,000 people were left without power. And on August 23rd, Tropical Storm Franklin hit the Dominican Republic, leading to the evacuation of more than 5,000 people. More than 1,000 houses and buildings were damaged by the disaster. The eastern regions and the capital, Santo Domingo, suffered the most. A state of emergency was declared in almost half of the country's provinces. At the same time in Russia, heavy rains flooded the Primorski Krai. In a few hours, nearly half of the monthly precipitation norm fell in Vladivostok. Ushuriysk also went underwater. Buses and cars became captives of the natural force, and pedestrians were swept away by the water currents. Fires continued to rage in Greece. Roads, beaches, and residential houses were engulfed in flames. As of August 23, 64 fires and new casualties were reported. The bodies of 36 migrants who had perished in the fire were found in the northeast of the country. The following day, the hot weather in southern Germany was replaced by storms with heavy rain and thunderstorms. Several people were injured by fallen trees. And in India, in the city of Kullu, Himachal Pradesh, several high-rise buildings collapsed due to a massive landslide caused by monsoon rains. Thanks to preliminary evacuation, casualties were avoided. In Brazil, a strong storm raged in the state of São Paulo. The strong winds uprooted trees, destroyed poles, and overturned cars. On August 25, the streets of Vladivostok were flooded once again in Russia, while in the town of Vyborg residents filmed a water tornado. In the state of Louisiana, USA, wildfires engulfed an area of over 6,000 hectares. The entire population of Maryville town was evacuated. After heavy thunderstorms and heavy rains, a storm swept through the states of Michigan and Ohio. Wind speeds reached up to 87 miles per hour. As a result, about 700,000 people were left without electricity. Some areas were flooded. On the same day, a tornado struck Ingham County, Michigan, claiming the lives of at least 5 people. In the state of Illinois, eyewitnesses filmed on video an anomalous phenomenon, continuous lightning flashes, and large hail fell in Saudi Arabia and Austria. A powerful storm that began on the evening of August 25 and continued on August 26 covered several European countries: Germany, Spain, Italy, Czechia, and Slovakia. In Spain and Germany, the storm was accompanied by abnormally large hail. Tens of thousands of households were left without electricity. Meanwhile, tropical cyclone Saula was gaining strength in the Pacific Ocean, which at the time of August 26 had already intensified to a typhoon of the second category with wind gusts up to 134 miles per hour. All these events were happening incessantly, day after day, without even a pause between these powerful manifestations of nature. After what you've seen, don't you realize the catastrophic rate at which the climate is changing? Do you realize that if the climate issue is postponed until later, that later may never come? The power and strength of the climate Cerberus is increasing. It is time to consider consolidating all of humanity and creating the conditions for full freedom of action for scientists, ensuring that they have access to all the data to research and solve the climate crisis. And if you haven't yet heard NASA and CERN scientist Egon Cholakian's appeal to all of humanity, we recommend watching it.